Hi, my name's Justin Chalfant. I'm the founder here at Patch My PC, and I'm excited to share with you that David James has joined Patch My PC as VP of Engineering. If you're in the system management space and you're on Twitter or social media, there's probably a good chance you might know who David James is. He's coming from Microsoft with 20 years of experience and was most recently Director of Engineering for Microsoft Endpoint Manager. For those of you that may not know David, do you want to go a little background of yourself, kind of where you're coming from?
Sure. Thanks, Justin, and
Yeah.
super excited to be here. Um, my background is I worked at Microsoft in Redmond for over 2 decades, exclusively on the enterprise and management space and those products. I started out of college at Microsoft on what then was SMS or System Management Server. Then it became System Center Configuration Manager or SCCM, and now Microsoft Endpoint Manager, Configuration Manager. But most of us just called it Configuration Manager or Config Man. Also, recently I owned Windows Analytics and Desktop Analytics and Microsoft Endpoint Manager, Endpoint Analytics, and worked on Microsoft Intune and Windows. So 20 plus years interacting with customers in this community, in this space, at conferences, at user groups, directly with the customers, in social media. Really getting to know customers and empathizing with them and understanding their needs, finding ways to innovate. What challenge do they have? What do they need from the tech? How can we improve or innovate the technology so that they and their businesses can be more effective and more productive? So, that's a little of my background, what I've been up to in my journey, basically up until today. So
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. It seems like the joke is you never know what acronym it might be called, week by week.
Right.
Awesome. So for those out there watching, some people that are into the space might be just kind of interested. You ran this whole team, big company, Microsoft. What would be the reason that you're changing? Obviously similar industry, we have the same customer base. But
Yeah.
what was the reason for kind of joining Patch My PC if someone was asking you?
Yeah, for sure. The last couple of years, I think a lot of us have gone through, with the pandemic and the world changing, kind of thinking through, what we loved and what our priorities were. And for me, for 20 years, I basically had my dream job at Microsoft, working in a customer base I loved, on a technology I love, on products I love, with teams I love. And now I get to expand that experience and come do that more, at a smaller company. What really motivates and drives me is two things. It's customer engagement and it's innovation. And now I feel I could go even faster, kind of interacting with customers more than I was before, getting more immersed in the community and the customer base, and just really finding unique ways and exciting ways to add more innovation and more solutions to the customers to help their day-to-day jobs be better. I just saw that opportunity and it was really exciting to me. The other thing is, in my previous role at Microsoft, I paid a lot of attention to the products and the companies in the community and the industry, and Patch My PC just always showed up with stellar customer feedback and top-notch reputation. And with my customer passion, that also was a big part of my decision is just joining a company with such a good customer reputation.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny that you bring up, the community and customer engagement, because that's actually how we met. 4 years ago, we were at a user group tour in Europe with some MVPs that were putting that on. I think it was like 10 different countries in a matter of 2 weeks. So, you were there with Microsoft, talking about Endpoint Manager, meeting with your customers. I was there, Patch My PC. We were meeting with customers, explaining our, technology, talking to the community. So, there's a lot of overlap there with kind of, your values, our company values, the way that we kind of work together. So that's one of the things that I'm like super excited about you joining is there's a lot of what we already do as a company that you have those same type of passions and areas. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm glad you brought up the values because that's a big part of the decision for me as well. And like you said, I think it was Stockholm that I first met you and your wife, and like you said, 10 cities in 10 days, and from city to city, I think we'd end up at dinner kind of in many of those cities. I have, fancy meeting you here. But getting to know you and your wife was really memorable and pretty awesome, because we found lots of values that we shared, around customer service and customer kind of obsession. But even more importantly to me, outside of business, we shared a lot of values about, how we think about people and how we think about kind of the success we've had and how to give back to people and communities and just generally kind of improve the world. And as I got to know you and your wife and other people in the company, it's just a great culture of people that are trying to do good things, do awesome things. And that's kind of exciting to me. So great team, great company to join, could be more excited. And really, I just can't wait to kind of hit the ground running and go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm super excited as well. So I think that kind of wraps up the key pieces. Just letting people know, hey, people knew you left Microsoft probably a week ago. I think you posted on LinkedIn. Make sure that we have something to announce, like kind of where you're going. Outside of that, we do have some events coming up that might be worth mentioning. So we'll be at MMS, our whole team. So if you are going to MMS Miami in a couple of weeks, would love to chat with you. Feel free to come over, ask me and David some questions. We do also have the European event, the App Manage event, David. I believe we're both going to that one as well. So if you can't make it to the US, love to see you there too. If you're based in Europe, that's in the Netherlands, I believe.
It's I think the last time, in fact, Justin, one of the last times you and I kind of saw each other face to face was in New Orleans at MMS. And so it'll be good to get out and start meeting with people again. And for those of you ready to go out, and so for the US customers, if you can make it to Miami, and for the European customers, you make it to Amsterdam. If not, I'm sure we'll find other events, or and I think we have some virtual things too.
Justin. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So if you're not ready for in-person stuff, we will have an Ask Us Anything session. So we've probably done 3 or 4 of these so far. Basically, this is an event where our customers can get on a call with us virtually. Usually it's like a Teams webinar meeting. And you can just ask us anything. So our engineering team, myself, David, could ask us anything that you have. So if you can't make it in person, we'd love to take more questions at that event. Keep an eye on our social media, and we'll be posting about that once we have that scheduled. Yeah. Outside of that, we are done. So just want to thank everyone for watching.
Yeah. Well, thanks. And thanks, Justin.